Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the pre-market video from Equity Guys. My name is Chirag, and I am certified technical analyst. And let's get into the view for today. So, looking at how Nifty and Nifty futures are, Nifty futures is trading at a premium of 75 points, and Bank Nifty futures is trading at a premium of 187 points. So, both looking at a bullish aspect from the futures aspect of things. Moving on to India VIX is up another 5.92%. India VIX being up close to 6% is not a positive sign. Overall levels are still at 10.56, which is kind of bullish, but that increase of 6% is extremely bad over there in that aspect. So again, bullish aspect coming in from the India VIX sort of area. And then looking in at crude oil levels here, crude oil is down 0.5%, and the overall levels in crude oil are definitely bearish in nature here. So that will be a positive sign for the Indian markets here, because we are trading below that pre-COVID levels too, and because there are some bearish tendencies in the crude oil market and it being down 0.5%, that is definitely positive for the Indian markets over here. Looking at gold and silver bees, gold bee is up almost 2%, and silver bee is up almost 3.53% here. So definitely extremely bullish data looking at gold and silver bees over here. Moving over to the Gift Nifty aspect of things, Gift Nifty is opening at a neutral of just minus 2.7 points. So definitely there is a neutral opening. You could say it's slightly on the bearish side, but again, very, very neutral opening. There shouldn't be much of a problem in that aspect of things. Moving over to the sectors are not looking too well. We see sectors like metals and oil and gas doing positive, but key sectors like IT, auto, and BankX all doing pretty bad over here. Especially with how the markets are moving, definitely not, definitely bearish data coming in from the sectoral side of things. Looking at the NSE website, we do see there are more declines and advances, about 1919 declines. So we see that almost 1919 stocks are closing towards the day low, and only about 1184 stocks towards the day high, and about only 103 stocks staying in that neutral level. So definitely very, very bearish sentiment coming in from the market from the stock side of things. Moving on to a very important aspect, the FII DII aspect, we do see the DIIs are consistently buying in the cash market, and the FIIs have actually started to sell a little bit more, about 3,000 crores of selling, which is not at all good. And if you're looking at the overall monthly, also still till this date, this month has been an entire month of just selling from the FII. So another 3,000 crores of selling there is not good for Nifty in the long term aspect of things. But looking at an intraday perspective, we do see that in index futures they have bought around 400 crores here, and in stock futures they are selling about 600 crores here. So from an intraday perspective also, it's not relatively good, because the FIAs are selling. And from a long term perspective, once the long term perspective of the cash markets is seeing buying, then the FNO markets will also see a good amount of buying in their positions over there. Looking at the advanced decline ratio, we see that both Nifty and Bank Nifty are sitting pretty bearish there. Only 20 advances, 30 declines for Nifty 50, 2 advances and 10 declines for Nifty Bank here. Moving over to the option chain is definitely looking bearish in nature, and we know this because on the right side we do see that there is buying in the money puts and a little bit of out of the money puts here, but mostly selling and also out of the money puts here, most of it, but that is also a little slight bit of selling that will eventually change into buying, is what I think here. And on the left side for calls, we do see there is selling in both in and out of the money puts here. Calls here, sorry. So looking at it from that aspect of things, we are definitely seeing bearish data from the option chain. And keeping that in mind, 25 to 50 will be a strong sort of resistance. will be a strong resistance over here. So the markets can come up to that 25 250 levels, and then take resistance from there and come down from there. So that is a possibility that can happen today. That is a level that we need to keep marked over here. Moving on to the global indices, we do see that the US markets are definitely positive all around here. So definitely bullish data from the US markets here. The European markets are seeing a little bit of mixed data here. We do see that DAX is down, FTSE is up, and again CAC is down. So a little bit of negative data coming in from here, because FTSE is not up by a lot, and DAX and CAC are down by almost 0.5% and 0.3% here respectively. Looking at the Asian markets, Nikkei seems to be doing it's not open, but when it did close almost 1% towards the day high, which is extremely good. Kospi running at about 0.3% positive, which will be extremely good for the Indian markets here on the upside. Looking at ADRs are not looking too positive. Only Infosys is only seeing a good amount of buying here. Apart from that, almost 1% selling in HDFC Bank. Wipro Bank is seeing a good amount of selling. ICICI Bank is also seeing a good amount of selling of 0.7%. So Dr. Reddy is seeing 1% of selling. So definitely bearish data coming in from the Indian ADRs. Moving over to the futures segment of thing, US futures are up here. The US 500 and Tech 500 are quite neutral in nature. US 30 is up almost 0.11% here. So that can definitely help the Indian markets, but let's get into what the view will be for today. So looking at the daily charts and looking at how Nifty is starting to make that lower and lower formation over here, and because Nifty is overbought on these daily time frames over here, we will definitely see that Nifty is on that overbought level, and we are looking towards moving on the downside, because there are gaps on the downside that still need to be filled. There are about two gaps on the downside, two gaps that need to be filled now. So it looks like we are seeing Nifty move towards that downside. As per GAN levels, we do see it going down to about 24,728 levels and then bouncing back up, but that is a short term view on the downside. And the main thing is, there's only about 6 trading sessions left in September, and October is definitely a bearish month in the long term historical side of things. So it in the short term, the outlook on Nifty is basically it is very cautious. There is a sell on rise type of market, but definitely something that is that should be on the lookout for, to trade cautiously. But keeping that in mind, make sure you guys trade the view. Well, I mean, make sure you guys trade the setup and not the view, and make sure you guys are trading one index and one time frame, and make sure you guys are go ahead and not trading your emotions at all. Keeping that in mind, make sure you guys tune in tomorrow for the view. Have a good day trading. Thank you.